Hello, welcome to Casual Café. I'm Callum Holman, your host for this wonderful podcast series, and in this episode, I will be introducing you to what may be in this podcast series to await you. I will be talking about many things, like why I've made this podcast a cafe theme, what I want to do with this podcast, and the guests you may see later on. So let's start off with the first thing. Why have I made this podcast? To be honest, don't really know. I kind of just gone to the point where, I really want to talk to people about stuff, and I want to explore on many different things to many different people. I like cafes, and I always have. It's always a nice, comfortable place to go, so I've decided, let's make this podcast cafe-themed with a nice conversational kind of feeling towards it, with things like jazz music and an extensive amount of coffee, because I am a coffee addict. I will be talking about many things throughout the series, and currently the subjects that I have planned for in the next couple of episodes are things like gaming, nerd culture, religion, horror, and music. I'm really excited to talk to the people about these widely interesting things, with a large topic of what I may not know, and also a large point of what I may 100% know. All things in this series will most likely not be factually correct, because I'm not a factual person, by all means. But at the same time, this is just people's opinions in the series. My opinion, and our guests' opinions. For this first episode, it will only be me talking, with things like why I want to make it, right? This is a project I'm doing, and I really hope I can enjoy this project, basically. I'm hoping that this project will really be a fine point to possibly continuing on a greater series. With my enthusiasm to coffee and cafes, I do like having a nice casual chat with people, or even something not casual with more serious topics to go through with them, or problems that they may be occurring with. I enjoy learning stuff about people and creating new friendships, so I really hope that this could be something that would always go on and that I could always enjoy with people. Anyway, let's talk about things that I like, because, I'm an enormous narcissist. Multiple things I like are things like movies, anime, games, and really random, interesting facts. Like how the Northern Lights are called the Ouroboros? No, Aurora Borealis, I think it is. It's a very interesting thing. I love the name, honestly. Anyway, movies I like are definitely the beginning of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, very good movies, amazing. Things like The Evil Dead, and just old movies as well, especially around the 80s and 90s. In my opinion, the movies around then were amazing. I love watching foreign stuff like anime, and even just foreign TV shows like Squid Game, Pan's Labyrinth, Money Heist. Very, very good things that I really enjoy watching and paying attention to, because I know so many people with wonderful cultures that I always like to learn about it, and that's great, right? I do play a lot of games, meaning when I play online, there are so many different people from so many different places that I get to meet, and I really do enjoy that. I get to know different people with different views, and maybe the same views that I can have a great conversation with no matter what. And it's really a wonderful thing to get to know new people, especially when you play games and there's this kind of same standpoint. So, yeah, this is why I've kind of made the podcast, to learn about people's views on different things, and hopefully I get to have fun talking to these people about so many great and interesting subjects in later episodes. But, today I'm the only person here, so it will be great to kind of learn things about myself, right? Because I'm a large fan of media, and I indeed do like a lot of media. With my interest of anime and that kind of animation area, I do love the idea how editing can really change how things are, with the points of voice acting, animating frame by frame by frame, and even just how normal shows and movies add like these small little editing tricks that could focus on an entirely new subject, or even that could change the entire view of what the movie might be. I'm a very big fan of media, like I've already said. It's great. Social media is one of the things I'm not so strongly agreed with, but I do also enjoy that, with the excitement of getting to know new people, and even seeing what interesting things people can do. Like, for example, cosplaying. I really enjoy seeing like people show off their fashion sense and really show off things that they just like themselves, getting to know new things that many people enjoy and see as a great hobby. For example, things like knitting, carpet making, and even art. So many people have so many good artworks, and I think it is such a unique standpoint to make an interesting artwork that can both entice you and the audience that you're kind of showing it to. Many other things on social media that I do enjoy is the constant connection with people that you have, even if you are miles and miles away from them, even if you don't get to see them in person ever, you still have this kind of connection to them on social media, whether it's through just messaging all day long, or just posting and kind of knowing what they've been up to and really being happy how good their lives may be, or helping them through hard times. Social media is such an interesting aspect with things, and I do think that it's a really enjoyable standpoint. With many things like religion being so connected to social media now, and like community boards being so connected, it's great to see how social media has like expanded this connection to people, and how if someone needs help, they get help, and if someone would like to do something, they will so easily find it on a social media platform. Probably Facebook mainly. I've heard they've got an events thing going on for them. And it's very interesting how I get to know so many great people through social media, even if I've only met them once and I got on really well with them. I get to talk to them so much more than you would have ever got to talk to someone like 20 or 30 years ago. And I'm happy to grow up in a time like this, to be able to know this kind of stuff. Like, most people don't count gaming as a social media platform, or as a social media awareness, a social media kind of thing, right? But I kind of deem it as something that has a wide social standpoint and that can forever expand someone's connection with other people. Maybe through it's like the interest of same kind of games, like comfort games or really gory FPS horror games that people may play online. I think it can connect like a really nice connection with other people, with connecting your kind of like hobbies. Yeah. And yeah, like for example, I like a slight part, I like the anime community, and I would call myself a part of that community. And I really love how, like, because of this online connection, you get to meet so many new people, and you even get to go to really nice events like MCM Comic Con, and even just your local comic shop, or like Waterstones. You get to meet people there that have really similar interests to you. And I always thought these kind of communities were so much more expanded through the awareness of social media. But at the same time, social media has kind of taken things down, which I'm very mixed about in that kind of aspect. And yeah, like for example, if you wanted to go to the movies with someone, you could have always just like planned to go it when you last saw them, and you would always go to it. Like, you would watch this really nice movie and have a great time. But nowadays, you'd usually just message them and then you would watch the movie online at the same time, which creates this kind of boredom. Like, you don't really get to connect with one another that much. But nevertheless, social media has done great connections, but it has also taken connections away from people. That's my long rant about social media, so don't judge me, or do. It's your opinion, nevertheless. I do like many other things. I am like a large fan of production kind of stuff, like post-production with editing, and since I've already mentioned this, I want to clearly mention another point I like with editing, and that is special effects and effects makeup. Like, it's really interesting how you can suddenly change this person's look and just pop on a new face to them, or possibly make things look like they are there when they're not actually real. It's such an interesting and cool concept to have in movies, which a lot of horror movies kind of do have this point onto them, and it's like really interesting. For example, one of the best things I love about special effects is how you can like completely change someone's appearance, and that is so well done in Evil Dead, which is like a movie I'm massively like in love with. You know, it's such a great inspiration for an expanding or start of a new career with people. And yeah, like, I do love special effects. You can do it whether it's during making the movie or after you made the movie. You can like create this entirely new feeling to what you are watching, whether it's a nice comedy that Adam Sandler is starring in, or it's this really scary horror movie with Freddy Krueger, or any other horror things. Honestly, I don't have a big point on horror movies. Yeah, which is really nice to see this kind of point. Hello, I am back. I just went to get myself a nice new drink of chocolate milkshake. I just finished it, and my opinion, very good drink. I really did like it. And I do think chocolate milkshakes are very nice, one of my favourite drinks. But it's always got to be a specific French brand that does chocolate milkshakes, and I can't find them, and I've just found it today. And it's the one I have just had, and it was amazing. I've not had it in 3 years, and I've found it now, and I've just like blasted past to 3 years ago. It was a miracle. Anyway, continuing on with my conversation about social media, I'd like to move on to movies. I'm a big fan of movies with multiple different views and multiple odd likings to movies. For example, a lot of people like the new Evil Dead movies, but I prefer the older ones, like Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. They are really good movies, and I think they have just the perfect mix of comedy and horror in it, with multiple great standpoints and honest views. I would like to mention that the effects for Evil Dead were ingenious. Probably one of my favourite effects that they've ever made for that series was the first 3 movies that they did. And like, effects have become so much more different, I would preferably say. Like CGI, for example. CGI can be good in movies, but it can also be really bad. Like, in some Marvel movies, like Avengers, the CGI was really good, you know. Hulk looked amazing and great, but in the other Marvel show, which is She-Hulk, she didn't preferably look that good, and the CGI wasn't the best, to say. So I really think that we are becoming into an age where CGI might not be the best thing out there, compared to around like 2010 to 2015 maybe, where CGI was a really good thing, and like, you know, movies really well made CGI with things like, I'm pretty sure Willy Wonka had CGI in it, and also Ready Player One, the CGI in that was wonderful. Honestly, I loved Ready Player One as a movie. Best Easter eggs, best like knowledge you could even grab from anything. Best movie ever. The CGI really gave it a boost, but the story was like really good. I do want to say stories in movies are also very important, but at the same time, you can't really have a mixture of a good story and like good scenes. It's always got to be one or the other for some reason, and I'm okay with that. Like, I love some nice good stories that are really plain and really simple, and they don't have that much like big CGI or great editing in it, and they don't have like any spectacular shots that you may have seen. And for an example, one of the good movies that have this like nice story, but at the same time it's not overwhelmingly good when it comes to the shots and all that, is I think it's called The Edge of 17, which stars Haley Steinfeld. Amazing. It was great. Particularly not the best thing Haley Steinfeld has been in, but pardon me. It was one of the best like kind of stories that I've seen Haley Steinfeld in. You know, with Arcane, she's like really good. Her voice acting's amazing, and Spider-Man, like, you know, the Across the Spider-Verse movie and Into the Spider-Verse, also spectacular movies, with her voice acting being amazing and all that. But I do think Edge of 17 had a very nice story, like a good calming one where you could go back and forth to points with emotional trouble, non-emotional trouble, and even making the character flawed. I really do enjoy Edge of 17 as a movie. But, like, you know, other movies Haley Steinfeld has been in, especially the Spider-Man movies, like the animated ones, were spectacular. It was amazing with, you know,
Haley Steinfeld being Spider-Woman, Gwen Stacy, amazing. And I think they really did a nice representation of the comics with her, and she can really change her tone a lot. And in my honest opinion, Haley Steinfeld is one of the best voice actors to exist on the planet Earth. She can really change her emotional base with whatever she does. You get really good voice actors from many other places and many other things, but Haley Steinfeld, I would personally say, is up at the top, because she can both do good acting and the voice acting is even better. So, in my opinion, that's great. But other people that are great in multiple things is, I don't know what her name is actually. It's the person from Guardians of the Galaxy, Gamora. But I've forgotten her name. 1 second. She was really good. Sorry, I really can't find her name. Zoe Saldana? I don't know how to say that. She was amazing in Guardians of the Galaxy, and even better in Avatar. Honestly, she can really depict the idea of what aliens may be like, and how an emotional connection can be done with possible people from other species. It's really nice how, she has really experienced these high-tech things with being fully make-upped or whatever, with the large special effects with her putting on the nice green suit of Gamora, and at the same time having this kind of technical suit on for whoever she was in Avatar. I'm terrible with names, I'm so sorry, but honestly, she is also great, and I think she has great potential for other movies. Anyway, I've been babbling on about movies for a little bit, and I really want to mention, this is only a pilot, and this is basically my little test for how I would want to see the podcast go on further, and for it to expand maybe, and change various different ways. And I'm hoping that the guests that I have will be amazing, and probably even make this podcast better than just me talking to myself. And so with that, I would like to say thank you for watching, and I hope you watch the other episodes that may be coming out in the future.